DoD Chaos here. Welcome back for another episode in our brand new series, Road to Top 100 using no mechanics. Now, if you missed the first one, what we're doing is taking a fresh account, playing Loki all the way up to the top 100 using only mechanics appropriate for our current ELO. In episode 1, we played 2 games and won a couple of other games off stream as well, which we explained. We are now sitting at 1176, so we're going to be playing some roughly 1200 ELO opponents in this episode now. At this level, what we're expecting is a little bit more coordination in terms of build orders, people having some sense of a game plan they would like to execute, and a lot of sloppiness still throughout. As well as opportunities that are very much not taken advantage of. So even still here, I expect that if we just play somewhat strategically sound game, you don't have to do anything special to win the game. It will just happen naturally. Okay, we found a game on Blue Lagoon. Our opponent is ready. Let's jump in. This map is fairly open with gold mines, but with the hills and the trees, does also offer opportunities for walling strategic choke points. We're playing against Gaia being a very economical civ. We have to be careful about the Caladria, which can both heal army that we're trying to kill and snare or slow army that we have so we can't run away. As usual with our build order, we are starting with a dwarf and setting our initial gatherers to food. We're going to build 2 ox carts, put our Allspark in a control group, build a house, and then send it forward to cast Spy. At the 1200 ELO range, I think there's a little bit of extra time here just to do a bit of sheep scouting on the side while we wait for this. Garrison our ox cart and send it off to gold. And then we're back onto food. I did not mean to shoot that giraffe down. But again, not a problem at all. After this is done, send it to wood, and the ox cart will follow. Last thing we need to do after our 4th villager is out is cure the dwarf. Move our gather point over to the gold, and let's start focusing on our Allspark. Make sure we get a lay of their base, see what our strategy can be for this game, and cast Spy. Alright, we found their food, and 1, 2, both hero early citizens are there, as we expected. Send our villagers back to gold there. Or back to food there, rather. Okay, so they have forward berries, forward giraffes, which will basically be done by the time we're fighting. And see if this is covered by a tree line. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to attack because we're going to be funneled through this little choke here, and they might even wall that off. Again, we messed up the build order, we missed the dwarf timing, but it's no problem. We'll just send food over down there. Opponent is scouting, has a goat there. Did not steal. We have a town center here that has a little bit of hunt, which could be relevant later on in the game. See if we get that far. I think we can just throw our temple right here, cover this area, make it a little bit safer for the future. Resisting mechanics right now to shoot my next pack of hunt early for efficiency. We're just gonna let that happen naturally. And let's bring this gatherer down here. We don't really want much wood in the beginning in this matchup. We can do lots of Herseer, or we can do lots of Allspark. In this case, it really depends what they're doing. We're ready to click up here, we just need the food. So let's manually cash that off. back up. And we're building some houses. Build a couple of Herseer to help us. Building our initial buildings. Force drop a couple builds so we can get that Herseer out. This relic here, improved line of sight, is nice. Not high priority, but since we're going to be passing by it, and we're going to have a Herseer here that kind of has nothing to do, we can just go pick that up. We could wall this off, but in this case, I'd rather save the gold and make units. Keep our macro simple for after we age up. We can auto queue some gatherers, but we can also queue up 1 or 2 dwarves to send gold first. We've had probably idle food for a little bit of time there. We know that our next hunt's there. We definitely could have scouted better here. Figure out where our next food source is. But for now, we'll just take the berries, keep everything nice and safe. And I'm realizing now that I meant to throw down a barracks, not a great hall, for this matchup. That's not great, but we're kind of committed to building it now, and we have the spy, so it should be okay. Let's send our troll forward. I don't see him defending those units at the moment, so we should be able to deny this town center here. Throw down the barracks, throw everything forward. So he has the Caladria. I don't know, we kind of have to get there sooner rather than later. Let's move the rest of our production on food. Don't want to lose this raiding cavalry here. We're going to use the troll and the Herseer to attack that. Again, want to keep things relatively simple. I'm just going to attack move here. Caladria is getting attacked by the troll. Normally, I would focus the Caladria here to make sure that it dies. So let's do that. And it looks like we're going to kill at least 1 villager. If we kill everything, the game will be over. But I think the TC will be get up. So if he garrisons this villager, that would be optimal. He does not. But we don't want to lose units. Let's cast our spring. Put down a couple of houses here. Build some dwarves because we're floating a lot of food. Fix our economy a bit. See here that we had a gather on gold, and we have lots of gold, so we don't need that. And we can probably just throw down 1 more production building. Making these Allspark. So these Allspark are nice and strong in this matchup, and they produce really quickly is another benefit of making, also known as Berserks in Retold. Berserks are Allspark in the old game. We want to get this tech when we can, so we'll right click that. And the opponent is microing well enough now. I have to be careful and just keep our units out. We don't want to be too mechanical. We can do a lot of damage if we attack here by using high APM, but we're not going to do that. So we're kind of a little bit short on wood right now, so let's start to send a couple more units to wood. Oh, so let's build that house now. Everybody gets healed up. We'll build another house. Keep making some Allspark. Making a few more Herseer. And this food is done now, so let's go over there. Now, one little trick. There's a bug in Retold right now, where if you try to run towards something you right-click some hunt, and it runs into the fog of war, your units will just stop, and your villagers will go idle. So instead, shift-click the ground, then right-click the animal, and that will always work. Very important for just, then you don't have to think about it anymore. Right, so let's see if there's any damage we can deal here on the second town center. He's either going to be gathering this wood or on this gold, or if he's really ambitious, maybe some hunt back here. It looks like it's probably on the wood line. And I say that, and obviously it doesn't work out. These foodies are finishing now, and I see some rhinos over there. Okay, so there he is. So we found that he's back there, and what we can do is just wall this off, and that will cause some serious problems for our opponent. Got to get there before he gets up, so he cannot garrison, and we'll just attack that with our attack move. Attack move being the most important hotkey you can have in the game. To explain how that mechanic works a little bit, so we're killing 2 more citizens here. That's absolutely massive. With attack move, if you were to try to right-click a specific unit to engage combat, all of your units are going to have to move to target that unit. And that's not too bad for archers if they can reach, but for melee units, they're all going to be bumping into each other. But if we simply attack move, then everything will attack the closest thing to it. So there's the most efficient use of your melee military. So we actually probably don't want to fight this yet. Yep. So this, we're losing a hearse here. That's okay. We'll let that go. Keep it simple here. We have way too many on wood here. So what we can do is just grab a bunch of these and make a bunch of farms. So his army's over there. We can go either heal our army or we can go attack. I think if we just select 1, 2 weak units, leave them behind, and we can go attack with everything else. That will work just fine here. We know he's going to be on the gold in the middle of his base. And we want to build an armory. Okay, so there he is. We can kill a bunch more citizens there. The way we're pathing, prevent him from running to the places where he can garrison his villagers. And so we're actually going to slaughter here. We're going to kill a lot. This huge damage. And then we're going to get out. We got the damage we wanted. Get out. Additionally, we can advance to the next stage once we have an army. Oh, okay. Well, he's just going to come back with the weak units. Then we're going to punish that. Not going to let that slide. Get out again. So we really need an armory, and we're going to need to rebuild some houses because we're going to lose some houses here. Additionally, we would like to get more wood so we can get pickaxe. That's the current strategical. Let's upgrade hand axe so we can get more houses. And we don't want to fight this army head on for the moment. We want to wait for flaming weapons. And we would also probably like to build some battle boars. So again, we have lots of food. This is kind of ending. Let's just move these on to get everything out here. And let's rebuild our production buildings because we're losing those as well. We're just going to do a little bit of raiding. So we see, because he ran by this wall, we got line of sight. He's trying to get back on this food. He needs food. And we don't want to let our opponent, sometimes this is bug in Retold 2 with these buildings. We don't want to let him get on this food for free. Right now we're floating a lot of resources because we are housed and we don't have the production buildings, so we just want to get those up as fast as we can. Let's kill this oracle that we found here. We also should have upgraded our cab earlier, but we can do it now. Train another battle boar. Alright, so we found all the foodies here. So he's probably should be running his army to defend that. So while that's happening, let's go ahead and attack his main base. And also upgrade to heavy infantry. There's his main force. We've got the damage we wanted done. Run away. I think we just can attack this town center. It's a little bit less risky as well. We have a lot of Allsparks. We're upgrading those. Don't have the, oh, he's still chasing me all the way into the corner. Okay, that's perfect. So he's going to lose the whole town center, and we can take these Allsparks here. and also raid these guys over there. Garrisons appropriately. These are done. Let's move them over. Got pickaxe that we wanted to get earlier. Got what we wanted. Could finish off that build, but that's going to require some micro. Don't want to do that. Alright, let's auto queue. We have enough on wood here. Let's probably actually move like 5 of these on. So you just cast flame weapons if he insists on fighting us here and win the game. If our units actually attack, they're kind of bugging us right now. We have those units that we kept up in the corner here that we attacked, moved back down here, and they're killing everything. Let's build some more houses. Bring everything down to finish them off. So there we go. A little bit more mechanical of a game there. We had 2 different control groups for our military, but otherwise we kept things very, very simple. We didn't take any risks. We didn't dive too deep, and we waited for the right opportunities to strike. So again, you can see that at the low levels, people love to take town centers. Against Loki, this is very, very difficult to do. But now we're sitting at 12. Game 2 here is on Oasis. Oasis can be a bit of a challenging map for Loki because if we don't get the amount of goats we need, then we can't make the units we want, which are food units. Loki's very food hungry. So there's 2 options here. We can make another berserk in the beginning to ensure that we scout and get all of the goats, or we can risk it with 1 and hope for the best. Against Raw, who doesn't have the best scouting, playing with 1 is fairly safe, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Just like usual, feud the dwarf and send our units to food, making 2 ox carts, making a house, and sending our dwarf to gold. Now, strategically in this game, what we want to do is, and I'm gonna do a bit more pig scouting here, only because Raw's scouting is not very good, so we're less likely to lose our pigs while we scout. So I was saying strategically in this matchup, it's very hard to actually attack Raw. Raw is a very defensive civilization, especially going up the top. That is a god that gives you access to Wadgets, and Wadgets are very, very strong defensively. And we walked right by 2 goats here. Normally we would want those, but we will go back and pick them up later. This relic here, gold gathers faster, is very nice. It's good for us, but it's even better for Raw, so we will just want to ensure that Raw doesn't get it if possible. We found them. It's a very corner-oriented map, and so they have actually a really, really bad gold mine here. We're just scouting, being dynamic. It's only covered by a tower, and it's not that close. Ideally, we want to spy the Pharaoh here. That will let us kind of see everything. And again, our build order is a mess. We're talking, we're playing. Completely expected, well, I actually expect this yellow range to execute the build order a bit better, but okay, pick up all these picks that are here too. Alright. Bring this villager back now that we have our 3 dwarves. So generally, we're going to do the same game plan. I think that 2TC is probably better at a slightly higher elo, but we just want to keep things simple right now here at this elo. So we're pretty late on our temple because we were busy scouting and picking up a fair amount of goats. Be building one extra villager here. And with the help of this pharaoh, okay, so it looks like the opponent is fairly competent. They know this is an exposed area. They're building a house wall. We're going to have a tough time actually penetrating through and doing damage here. So our best route to doing early damage is going to be around here on the berries. I really think, again, that this is a map to 2 town center in most situations, but let's try to keep it simple here and display playing with fundamental aggression, which is stronger at this yellow range than booming. Hopefully they don't wall this off. But even with that, with the Wadjet, it's going to be pretty difficult here to contest this location. So what we're actually going to do, we're making our hearse series. Let's go pick up this relic here so that Rod does not get it. Another one down here, armory improvements are less expensive, also very important. We're going to send our ult forward to do some scouting. Our next hunt we see is there, so we're ready to move on. We're just going to build one building there, probably down here. That will give us a nice wall here of buildings. And actually, we'll definitely pick off this priest before we move on. Take the free stuff that we can. See if this house wall has been completed here. So there's still a gap there. That's good to know. And we'll want to pick up husbandry early here so that we can shift click that so that we can get really fat pigs, which give us lots of food later on in the game. Continue queuing units. We have our Hall of Thanes queued up there. And what we did is we just shift clicked our Ulsfark on all of these giraffes. One, deny them from them, but also to get additional favor for ourselves so that our Hall of Thanes would come in quicker. Because there's not much we can do with one Ulsfark otherwise. So they have so many villagers on gold. They're either abusing the market or they're intending to take this town center here. So what we really should be doing is simply sending everything down there. We also definitely need some houses right now though. Our Hall of Thanes just started, so we don't have the wood at the moment. So okay, maybe they're just doing lots of gold because they're making farms and they need gold for farms. Let's build a farm there. And after we kill this obelisk, we might as well go drop off the faster gold gathering relic that we have. Let's try to deny this region here. Okay, we don't want this whole wall to get off. Okay, that's a little bit too mechanical. I gotta chill. And I don't want to lose the Ulf, but I think it's worth it if we kill the villager. So let's do our springs here. Again, our opponent is not making army. Everybody loves to boom. Let's just bring this troll in here. We can get a couple more built kills here. Back out. We did what we wanted. So now, unfortunately, to get to where we want to go, we have to run through the back, where we are seen coming, and through a lot of arrow fire, or we have to go all the way around. So in this case, our Hall of Thanes is done now, so our units are a little bit faster. So let's get off wood and start onto goats here, so we can have more. We're being attacked. Let's see if we lose units running through here. I think it's better to just go around and start moving our waypoints away from this region here. And we have some houses, so if he does try to take this town center, we'll know it But again, he's probably going to use his fair to do that. So let's use our select all military button. Then we'll hit shift or control, whichever your hotkey is, and click on the Allspark. We don't want to touch that right now because it's over here building. We'll throw down an armory and another military production building forward, and we will also click our flaming weapons. Now we will want more food. Again, we're preparing, we have a little bit of favor. So let's keep our weak units in the back, and let's move forward with everybody else. There's Sobek. I know there's a crocodile that's going to be coming out there, so I don't really want to dive against the crocodile. We need to upgrade our units first. Army is almost there, which means we'll be advancing soon, and we need to upgrade our cavalry. So we're on the way. We have our cavalry upgrade. We have our... Okay, so they're making a Migdal in their base. They're probably going to go fast mythic here, which is a problem because don't have a good way to deal with Son of Osiris. But what we can do is try to win at the second gold. So when they're out of their first gold mine, have a big army, and sure that they can't get their second gold. Put everyone back to this location, I think, is the best way. For like a few units. Maybe 2 Urser will do the job. And need more houses. Keep production up. Okay, so he's making camels. That's a good option. But we're going to need to make some herd. Again, fundamentals. We're not doing anything complicated. Moving forward with a Migdal that will kind of secure this location. Idle villagers there. So also we're going to need probably our hack armor upgrade from the so we just picked that up right now. And it looks like he is going to be able to secure this gold mine here. Let's get proper units. Here. To do that, we're going to need some wood. Moving some villagers on the wood. The units there, which is not ideal. Fix our waypoints. This wall is also a bit of a problem here. Don't want that to go up. Hopefully, at least cause some idle time or kill a few units here. Start queuing up those herdmen and build another house. You're also floating a lot of... Okay, so he's going to try to move back on here as well as pull this unit. We don't want to lose any units here. Really what this is all about. We could have got a Ville there, but again, technically we're not going to get too fancy. We just don't want to lose any units. The other thing that Raw struggles against without... Just keep them off gold. Keep them off gold. Bring these forward. So we want to pick off this Pharaoh now. Because he doesn't have Son of Osiris, then we're very safe in this game. Building the unit that we need. Ooh, good raids from Loki here, which we did not notice. Let's go to that gold mine over there because it's the safer one. And we will need to send full Herser back to our gold mine here. Start flaming weapons here. Get our... Just doing good garrison abuse here. Honestly, I'm just going to convert some vills because point I have flaming weapons, and running away would cost me more than not running away in this case. But we killed that. We're gonna make one unit there, because we know he's not there. And actually being very annoying on this place, not leaving me alone. So Locust, we need to dodge that. Don't want to stand in that. That does a lot of damage. So we can just run around. We have a gold issue right now because we don't have those cards there. And we're gonna lose this fight. Not ideal, sure. Pick off the Pharaoh. So we've officially starved our opponent of gold. They're off this side, they're off this side. In this case, we actually had to fight pretty hard with our APM. We had to fight on one side here, we had to fight a raid over here in our base. Key was not to panic. So we noticed this a bit late. That's sloppy, but that's totally expected. All we do is we click and drag, we select everything, and then garrison in our town center. After attack move, garrison is the second most important hotkey you can have in this game. I recommend attack move on spacebar and garrison on something easy to click as well, like caps lock. After we defended the raids, there was another dicey raid here, and we didn't want to sacrifice 6 vills of our economy, but since we had flaming weapons up, we can convert less vills and still hold the position. And if we were to run away, 2 things would happen. Number 1, we would still lose a bunch of vills. And number 2, we would stop gathering. And we really couldn't afford to not be gathering at that point in the game. So the play was to convert about 6 villagers into Ulsfark, have them attack, and continue focusing on the more pressing matter. Now, this is very much a skill of playing the game more times and hard to explain. But you will be competing with different priorities. In that last game, there was this spot to look at, this spot to look at, and then the raids back here. What you need to do is make the action that at this level, it doesn't have to be super efficient, just make the action that deals with the spot without losing you the game as quickly as possible, and then get back to the more higher priority items, which in this case is, I know my win condition is that they don't get any gold. So yeah, okay, I would probably prefer to only convert 2 or 3 vills here, micro and fight and everything like that. But that's going to take my attention away from the higher priority item, which is just to keep my opponent off gold. So that's episode 2. Let's see where we ended off for ELO. And it probably would be instructive as well to see what our opponent's ELOs were. So we ended at 1265, so we're approaching the 1300 ELO range. And if we look, our opponent there was just around R rating at 1250. Catch you in the next one.